In this video I'm talking about autism and faces and facial expressions and why you can't convey emotion exactly how you want to. All that coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to TheAspieWorld. My name is Dan. I have autism, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on all this kind of awesome content. So if you're new around here, if you've stumbled across this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell to learn more and see more videos just like this one. Also, if you're watching over on Facebook, be sure to give this page a like and a follow to see more videos just like this. Okay, so this video, I'm talking about autism and facial expressions and autism faces and why you can't distinguish sometimes the emotion that someone on the autism spectrum is conveying, and why, if you are on the autism spectrum, you actually do have these faces, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving swiftly on, if you want to keep up to me and my crazy goings on in life and stuff, please head over to my Instagram page and give me a follow. Also, you can check me out on TikTok and Twitter at the same time. Okay guys, so this video I wanted to do because there's a few things that happen, okay? Basically my girlfriend always says to me like how my facial expressions don't match up to my emotions, but and I'll dig into a bit of emotions as well a bit later on in this video, so make sure you kind of watch the whole thing because at the end I'm going to talk about emotions and the expression of emotion physically and kind of like represented on the face of a person on the autism spectrum. But in terms of like actually showing the feelings of what you're feeling to your facial expressions, this is really interesting. So if I am really happy about something, my face is usually the same as it would be right now. If I'm upset about something, my face would be usually the same as it is now. So it's quite an interesting concept where if you are on the autism spectrum and you are feeling a certain emotion, that emotion isn't conveyed through your facial expressions. Now the reason being for this is because autism is a communicative condition or disorder. So ASD or ASC, autism spectrum disorder or autism spectrum condition, actually impacts how the brain communicates. It could be communicating senses, language, communication, and it communicates all of those sensory inputs into your brain, but in a bit of a different way. It's slightly different. It's just how the neurological paths were made and mended together in autism is different to that of a neurotypical mind. So where a person who is of neurotypical neurological conditioning would actually use facial expressions to show they're happy, they smile and they cry, or they're overly excited or happy, and they show big emotions that are way overwhelming. People on the autism spectrum don't actually display those themselves. Now there could be a few reasons for this. Two reasons that are possible for this is, one is that there is a communicative issue between the emotional side of the brain and the facial expression side of the brain within autism spectrum condition that doesn't really match up correctly, and so by doing that then it kind of causes a bit of an upset. So if you're really happy, your facial expressions don't really change, or if you're really sad, they don't really change. But the other thing, and this is quite an interesting concept as well, is that people on the autism spectrum don't really tend to understand emotional body language in another person. So if they're with another person and they're looking, they may not understand if that person is happy or sad. So basically, when I'm around people, generally family or friends or whatever, or just like even strangers, I don't even know if they are happy, sad, if they're excited, upset, worried. I can't pick these signals up from somebody. I can't really tell their faces. I try and guess. I'm thinking, maybe that's happy or sad. But a lot of people typically look sad to me. They look quite upset. I think that's like the default, but maybe it's the wrong thing I'm thinking about. And this could be because, again, communicating like the facial expressions. Why does this not happen? Well, typically autism affects the way people look at in someone's eyes. So if you're on the autism spectrum, you may have an uncomfortable ability to look at somebody's eyes, so you don't do that. So if you're not looking at somebody's eyes, you're not looking at their faces, you're not looking at their facial expressions to pick up facial expressions. So when that's in you, when you're feeling like they were, how are you supposed to know how to do facial expressions because you haven't seen anyone else do it? And that's a really weird concept, and it's an interesting concept. So this is just me talking about this kind of like ad hoc with you guys, because I wanted to do this video because basically I'm sitting down on my birthday and stuff like that, and my girlfriend texts me like, oh, I got you this, and I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And she's like, oh, I thought you would be really happy about it. Okay, but not so much now because she understands, my facial expressions don't match up. But then she was like, oh, are you sad about it? You don't want it? I was like, no, it's awesome. She goes, oh, you didn't react in the way that I expected you to. And that's quite interesting. So people who are neurotypical expect other people to react in a certain way. They figure that certain emotional gestures are going to trigger emotional responses that will be seen in the face, and that could be said for, you know, when people are surprised, you know, happy, ecstatic, enjoying leisure or pleasure, and those aren't really typically something that happens on the autism spectrum, which I find fascinating, but it does make a bit of a conundrum with people who are of neurotypical mindset, who don't already know this part of autism. So they could be, you know, surprising someone and they might feel that person is ungrateful. And it's not that they're ungrateful, it's just that they don't convey their emotions the same way as a neurotypical person would, which is absolutely fine because we're all different and unique in our own amazing way. And because of that, it does cause some kind of frustration, I guess. And then the other thing, which is I want to talk about, like, for the next half of the video, is emotions themselves. But with facial expressions, I think that when I'm really, really sad and I'm crying, then maybe my face will specifically do a certain kind of, like, you know, muscular feature because I'm crying. And if I'm laughing, my face smiles because I'm laughing and I'm happy about laughing. So those are two ways where I actually do show facial expressions. But also, I can only really tell if somebody's upset if they're crying and upset. Like, if they're crying and upset, then I know they're upset because there's water coming from their eyes. You know, this isn't a typical thing that happens. But if they are laughing, like hysterically laughing, I know that they are happy because they're laughing. But I found another kind of loophole here, that sometimes people laugh hysterically when they're upset, which is another weird concept, right? So I don't know sometimes if someone's upset or happy because they could laugh in hysteria through being completely upset or angry or something. That's weird. I don't know. You have to let me know in the comments down below if you've experienced this or not, if you know what I'm talking about, because I'd love to know. And also, if you relate to this, please give this video a thumbs up. Super awesome. It'd help me out a lot. Okay, so emotions. Moving on to emotions. Now, when people are upset about something, okay, let me wind it back a bit. My girlfriend and I, we have discussions about stuff all the time because I'm always trying to improve my ability to function in you know, real time, so that I can help people, so I can work out hacks and tips and tricks and stuff, and then help other people along the way, so that, you know, this is exactly what this channel's for. So my girlfriend pointed out to me yesterday something very, very interesting. Is that, say she wanted to go to the store, right, on a Sunday, and then she does something in the house and then realizes that it's past 4 o'clock and the store is closed, and she's like, oh, okay, I can't go. It's all right, don't worry, I'll just figure it out and I'll do it tomorrow. She said that she feels disappointment and a bit gutted, like, oh, well, I really wanted to go there, but she understands it and it doesn't actually affect her whole entire being. It's just something that happens and then she just deals with it and moves on. But me, on the other hand, for instance, yesterday I wanted to go out for a run because running really helps clear my head, and I planned to go for a run, but then I was stuck in the pharmacy for way over 2 hours because of the whole COVID restrictions, and because I was stuck there, I actually couldn't go out for my run. And then I came home and I was just so like, oh, and I was like, just like, oh, it's like painful because I couldn't, you know, my routine had changed, and because of that it made me feel really like, oh, like angry. And my girlfriend said that my entire mood just dropped because of a slight glitch. But then after about 20 minutes, it peaks back up again to just normal flat, like my normal flat. And she was like, that's really interesting because typically people don't show that much emotion through their entire physical being when something quite small happens, but she sees it in me that, like, this is overwhelming kind of like big ordeal, like, oh my gosh, you know, all this stuff happened. And she said that's funny because she's never really seen that in anybody other than me and potentially other people on the autism spectrum, which is really, really interesting. Now, I want to know if you relate to this as well. Let me know in the comments if you understand what I'm talking about, and if you have that same ability of when you're really upset about something, like when you're completely gutted about something, every small emotion becomes like a big physical kind of like a drag, and your whole mood dips down. And so I was unable to kind of concentrate yesterday, and I tried to explain it to her, like that when I, say I'm going out, I wanted to go for a run, and that was what I had planned in my head. But then obviously that changed, and then everything else changes, because I feel like when I'm running, I'm being productive because I'm running and I'm listening to books and I'm learning stuff. But for that, half an hour to an hour when I wasn't running, I didn't have enough time to get any work done. So it was kind of like an unproductive time, and I struggle with non-productive time. Like, I struggle with not doing stuff like that because I always want to be productive. I always want to be doing stuff, like that's pretty much me. But look, if you're a parent and you're watching this right now, I actually did a webinar on helping overcome your kids' issues on the spectrum. Now, if you want to see that, and it's typically for people on the spectrum as well. You know, if you want to kind of learn those hacks, I will leave a link to the webinar up in the card above here and in the description below, because I think it'll be well worth you guys checking out. So please check that out, and it'll be super, super awesome. Okay guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.